Moonshot. It's a word we use not just to talk about dreaming big, but also about getting incredibly focused to do things. As a member of the Apollo generation, I lived that race to the moon. In the small Air Force town where I grew up, everyone's dad, and yes, back then it was just the dads, everyone's dad was either an aerospace engineer or a physicist. Nostalgia makes those times seem simpler, but there's no denying the power of a common goal. Nothing seems simple today. Like many of you, I've packed the car and gathered my family to evacuate before a hurricane. Like many of you, I've sat in meetings listening to my neighbors complain about traffic, and then they refuse to fund public transportation. Like many of you, I volunteered to help the homeless and pictured how affordable housing could change their lives. As we come face to face with these problems, it is so clear. Architects can make a difference. While an architecture student at Auburn, I was on the very first women's track team thanks to Title IX, which opened doors for women to play sports. Not only did I have to make the most of my chance, but I knew I was responsible for creating opportunities for those who came after me. That charge, to pay it forward, stuck with me as I advanced in my career. Seeing the needs of small firms like mine, I helped create the National Small Firm Roundtable. I served as chair for 2 years. We recognized we had to engage new leadership to drive the roundtable forward. Now, 10 years later, the Small Firm Roundtable, rebranded as the Small Firm Exchange, is stronger than ever. Being a leader who pays it forward was essential in my just completed term as an at-large director. I was chair of the Public Outreach Committee. We started by showcasing our beautiful buildings. Now, the AIA is empowering architects to solve their community's problems. I've seen the success that follows when we tell those stories, as hundreds of architects have been doing in the annual AIA Film Challenge. When you see, literally see on film, the difference, a library built in New Bern, Alabama, or affordable housing in Jackson, Mississippi, you realize the capacity that we have to pay it forward. That's why I'm running. I want to do my part to lead us through 2020 and beyond. We are the people who can build a more inclusive, innovative, and prosperous future. I want the AIA to attract a more diverse workforce because our profession depends on it. I want us to lead on sustainability and energy independence because our planet depends on it. And I want us to play a bigger role in our cities because our country depends on it. Architects can and should lead us in taking on these challenges, but we have to have a seat at the table. That's why it's so important to continue outreach with groups like South by Southwest Civic I/O. To have healthy communities, cities need solutions that only architects can bring. When I lived in DC, my dad and I went to the Air and Space Museum. As we walked around the Apollo exhibit, he said, "I did that, I worked on that, I helped with that." As architects with the potential to lead our communities to a better future, we want to be able to say, "I did that, I was part of that, I helped with that." It's time for our moonshot. I know what it takes, and I'm ready to lead us there. Thank you.